right, good afternoon. Welcome to the 12 News Connected Desk. I'm Keith Grant. Dozens of women who say they survived Jeffrey Epstein's abuse stood at the White House gates today with one demand: release the documents. We'll have a little bit from Speaker Mike Johnson actually on what he says about that. But first, tonight's weather could turn severe. Part of it, a level 2 now. We've got meteorologist Adrian Campa here. Looks like our camera's a little bit off. I'm going to adjust it so Adrian's in here.
Technology.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, we can do it on the fly. But tonight's severe threat, it's still there, right?
It's still there. We've been saying for the last couple of days, we were anticipating today to be very isolated, so not everyone's going to see a storm, and we still firmly believe that. However, if you happen to see a storm, it's likely going to be severe. So that's what we want to stress. Most of us staying dry, but if you happen to see one, very large hail and damaging winds will be possible this evening. So we can break it down right now, Keith, because as he said, a large level 2 out of 5 severe weather risk zone central into northeastern Kansas. Basically areas in between I-70 and Highway 54 400 include Salina, Wichita, as far west as Pratt and Kingman, and as far northeast as the Kansas City Metro. But golf ball sized hailstones and damaging winds to 70 miles an hour will be a possibility. Can't completely rule out a brief spin up, but tornado threat practically zero. So here's a look at where the cold front's at. Northwestern Kansas has already pushed through, but areas ahead of it, we still have that storm chance. We have lots of sunshine out there, kind of fuel for storms. So over the next couple of hours, we'll be watching the skies. And notice here on Future Track, it's just so hit and miss. Still an isolated evening chance for a storm for Dodge, but I think the best chance will be areas along and east of I-135, which you can see that right here. Timing for Wichita, 7 to 9 p.m. The storms will move out as quickly as they come in, which is good news because you don't want a slow-moving hail producer right on top of you. But what we're stressing is very isolated. You can see that there. And by 11 p.m., we're done with any severe weather risk. Overnight tonight, it's going to be very foggy in western Kansas, so be prepared for that for your morning commute. But here in eastern Kansas, we'll have partly cloudy skies. A cool start to the day, cooler here in eastern Kansas tomorrow behind that front. Still warm in the western half of the state with highs into the 80s, even a couple lower 90s out there. But then here we go, a second weather maker, another cold front on Friday. We already know Friday is going to be a big deal here in Kansas. It's the kickoff of the state fair in Hutchinson. A lot of people looking forward to it. I'm going to be out there that day, so stop by and say hi. And the weather, it's looking very, very cloudy, gloomy out there, off and on rain showers. Not a washout by any means, but think of that typical fall day where we have cloudy skies and you kind of drizzly out there. That's going to be Friday. And high temperatures, they're going to struggle to warm up. Our feels like temps Friday afternoon, Keith, that cold front, it's pretty strong. So we're talking upper 50s, lower 60s. That's the type of weather where you need to have a light jacket. You may have to spend some time under an awning if we have a brief shower that could last 10, 20 minutes, produce a little downburst of rain. But no severe weather risk on Friday, but very gloomy and chilly to start off the Kansas State Fair.
I was going to say you're going to want to pack layers, a
For
rain
sure.
jacket, and know where your nearest awning is.
And at least you don't have to worry about sweating.
Exactly. Exactly. That's always the worst at the state fair. All right. Thank you, Adrian. Coming up after the break, dozens of women who say they survived Jeffrey Epstein's abuse stood at the White House gates today with one demand: release those documents. We'll hear from Speaker Mike Johnson right after this.
That's why the discharge petition has been made moot and unnecessary, because you got to remember that the Oversight Committee's investigation is already ongoing. They're already producing and putting out there the documents that are uncovered. The White House is in full compliance. The administration is willfully complying with the subpoenas because they want maximum transparency as well. I talked to the president himself last night about this. He said, get it out there, put it all out there. So this is going to be an ongoing effort. It will be bipartisan, which is great. And the Oversight Committee's effort, this is really important to point out, goes further than the discharge petition. It requests more information than the discharge even encompasses. For example, the Epstein estate documents, which is a treasure trove of information, not referenced in the discharge. It goes further, and it has the force of law because we have subpoena authority that's already being complied with. So it makes the discharge irrelevant and unnecessary, and what it does is it makes the rule vote really, really important, because everybody who wants disclosure, full and maximum transparency and disclosure of Epstein, has a vote today to be able to affirm that, and that's
Is
important.
it your hope that vote today that this just gets off the table, that you're able to move on to other issues?
Well, in terms of the full Congress, but what we're going to do is effectively deputize the Oversight Committee, which is the committee of appropriate jurisdiction, to go do a deep dive on this. And I think they're going to uncover things that have never been uncovered before. One of the things that came out of the meeting we had yesterday with the 6 victims, they told the most horrific stories. We also had 4 of their lawyers there. And 2 of these lawyers have been working on this for 20 years. That's when the civil litigation began. They know where everything is, right? And so they can inform us, and we can utilize them as a resource to go deeper and get the full disclosure on everything. And I think you're going to find a whole commitment of the whole Congress on that, but the Oversight Committee will be leading, and Jamie Comer's going to do a great job on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, once again, that was House Speaker Mike Johnson, who said at the same time of women who said they survived Jeffrey Epstein's abuse outside of the White House. He was inside on Capitol Hill, who said that the Trump administration is cooperating with the ongoing investigation into Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and that some documents have already been released into that. That's all we've got right now from the 12 News Connected Desk. Be sure to join us for 12 News starting at 4.